Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Samuel Marcus Essien, the MD CEO, Sagamu Independent Power Plant Limited. It's a pleasure having you on the Benin, Nigeria edition of Bridge Africa magazine, the magazine that is out to showcase the beauty of Africa, as well as promoting investment opportunities in Africa to China and the world. We have gone through your project and we are so happy being part of this, and that is the reason why we have come to interview you to know more about this beautiful and fantastic project that you are about to start. Now, the first question, can you shed more light on this Automotive Community Project, aka IBOM Motor City?
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to have you and your team. Like you rightly introduced me, my name is Samuel Marcus Essien. Part of our team also includes Mr. Lin Sheng Yao, who is a partner in China. As a matter of fact, he is very instrumental in putting together a lot of the things that we're putting together on this platform. Sometime last year, we signed an agreement. We entered into an agreement with the Akwa Ibom State Government to set up IBOM Motor City. Akwa Ibom State has done a lot already. They acquired some 13,000 hectares of land, earmarked as a free trade zone. So the IBOM Motor City is going to be set up under this master plan of the state government. As part of that plan, there also is a deep sea port. It will be the main deep sea port in Nigeria with natural draft. There is also going to be a big industrial city in this area. This is all part of the plan. So the IBOM Motor City project all falls within the master plan of the Akwa Ibom Industrial City.
Good. Yeah, the next question. What kind of incentives do you believe will attract people to the new motor city to set up factories?
Now, we're doing the motor city a bit differently from what has been obtainable in other parts of Nigeria. There are quite a number of free trade zones, there are quite a number of industrial areas across the country. But what we've noticed is that the model that we're putting together is one that affords everybody to work, live, and play in the same environment.
Like a recreational center?
Not just a recreational center, it's actually like a city within a city. So we are putting together this integrated city development so that you can walk comfortably, live in a good environment, and then have all access to all kinds of recreational facilities that you can think of for a good standard of life, so that you are not thinking about going to do your holiday somewhere else just because you want to get access to recreational facilities. So we're putting all of this to enhance the livelihoods of people who would live within this area.
Thank you.
Yeah, that brings us to the next question, Mr. Samuel. And talking about incentives, are there like environmental incentives which you can use to attract investors into this project?
Yes, actually, the free trade zone status of the area already comes with a lot of incentives. We can give you some of the federal government incentives together with the state government incentives. So every investor would have access to those incentives ordinarily. But there are some things that we're putting together for this particular city which would actually allow any investor to have easy, to open and have easy access to business. For instance, we know that the cost of setting up a business in Nigeria is very high, especially because of power components, because of infrastructure, because of water, access to water, and even access to land. So it makes it sometimes prohibitive for investors to make the investments that are necessary in the country. So what we are doing, or what we've done, is that we've eased a lot of these for investors. For instance, our core area of expertise is in power.
Yes, exactly.
So for the city, we're providing power plants so that you do not need to invest in generators.
Wow, that's a good one.
We provide power plants, we provide access to power, we provide the roads. If you want the land, we will provide you with the land. We're also going ahead to even set up warehouses and factory sheds so that investors can just come and take a lease rather than having to build from scratch. So these are all the things that we're looking at for ease of investment in the city. So apart from the normal incentives from the government in terms of tax returns, in terms of
what percentage of tax are we looking at?
Usually for a free trade zone, and if you're a pioneer in a certain industry, you will have zero tax for the first 5 years.
Wow.
So there are already a lot of tax incentives from the government. But we're doing much more than just putting those incentives in place. We're actually unlocking the potentials of the area.
Okay, good. Now, another question is, have you broken ground on the projects? When will the project be fully completed?
The IBOM free trade zone is already in progress. Okay. This project just forms part of it, so groundbreaking has already been done for the major project. What we want to do is we're developing a themed city. So our own city is going to be a motor city. So we're starting with an automobile assembly plant, which would form the backbone or the nucleus for our city development. So with the automobile assembly plant will come all the other things like the spare parts industry, the tire factories, and lights manufacturing, and all of that, which we hope will form the industry for the whole of Nigeria. So we want to kickstart the industrial revolution in Nigeria with this city project.
Nice one. So yeah, Mr. Samuel, so how do you think such projects will improve the image of Africa in general, and also Nigeria in particular around the world?
There's a lot of interest in Africa right now from nearly everywhere in the world, and I think this is the right time for Africa as it is. But interest is not enough. Everyone has known about the potentials of the African of Africa for a long time. Now it's time for Africans to start to make it possible for those potentials to unlock those potentials. So what we are doing is setting up the platform for those potentials to be unlocked. Now there's a lot of interest from the Belt and Road, under the Belt and Road Initiative, the program from the Chinese government. But those programs are not just going to fly in on its own. We must have the necessary platform, the necessary foundation to attract those investments that will come from that platform, which is what we are working with Mr. Lin and the Green Shield Group to bring in those, to put together that platform that will make it easy for us to attract investments under the BRI.
Okay, another question is, what percentage of the production do you think will be dedicated to electric vehicles? Because now the world is tending towards all these self-drive electric vehicles. So do you have a plan to incorporate this in your project?
Now, our city,
Yeah.
the vision for our city is to be the innovation hub, not only for Nigeria, but for the whole of West Africa. So our plan is to put together all kinds, provide a platform for all kinds of innovation, especially new innovations. We want to unleash creativity. So this city would afford anyone who is creative, anyone who has ideas, you would be able to find the platform to spotlight, to showcase those ideas. Electric vehicles, part of the vehicles that would be assembled in this city would be electric vehicles. We already have those discussions with some of our interested investors, and they're quite happy to come and set up and do this. But we're looking beyond just setting up electric vehicles. We're looking even to charging stations, because in this city, a lot of the things that we'll be doing would be based on new technologies. We want to be able to catch up with what is happening in other parts of the world. So we're looking a lot at AI, we're looking a lot at integrated solutions, we're looking a lot at Internet of Things. So these are part of the things and innovations that will be in this city.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Samuel. So talking about going green and electric vehicles and all that. How important is it to Nigeria to go green and reduce fossil and fuel consumption?
Every day we're hearing about the impact of global warming. Even recently, places that never knew locust swarms are getting them, and it's all related to the impact of global warming. So it's a no-brainer. We just have to keep doing the right things if we want to keep the earth for ourselves and also for our children and grandchildren. So part of what we are looking at is bringing in place all of these solutions. We want to be able to match up with other parts of the world in technologies, and in not just technologies, but also in standards of living that will promote green culture, that will make the world a more habitable place for us. So this is what the IBOM Motor City project is all about.
Great. I'm asking 3 questions in one. Now, you have mentioned a lot of, activities that will be featured in IBOM Motor City. The first question that comes to mind is funding. Now, is there a major finance partner funding this project? I mean, presently, is there a major finance partner that is funding it? Then another one is, do you think the government is ready to invest in green technologies? Then, what are some incentives that the government is looking at to promote more new electric vehicles on the road?
Let me answer all of those questions in one bucket.
Yes, exactly.
In one bucket. The Akwa Ibom State Government has shown a lot of willingness and readiness to get things done. We must commend the governor for all that he has done so far. We also want to commend some of the people that he has put in place to get things done. So in terms of investment, we have designed the project such that the platform, because we're not going to be able to find all the money we need to build a new city. So what we are doing is we are directing investors, which is what the partnership we have with Green Shield. We're directing investors into this space to set up the necessary investments, bring the necessary changes and the kinds of impact that we want in our society. So we are transforming the state not just into a local area. We want to give the state an international outlook. So it will become easier to get the investments that will trigger all of this. On our own, to get things started, we already are spending money. We have put in quite, from the little that we have, we put in quite a lot, and we are getting some very good responses. We've signed up to date, if I'm not mistaken, maybe over 10 companies to date in different areas, in services, in manufacturing. We've signed up over 10 companies so far to date in this city project. So it's all coming together. We, in a short while, we'll begin to see the kinds of changes that we need to bring to Nigeria.
Thank you, Mr. Samuel. So I'm going to digress a little bit. I wonder if you like go-karting and car racing, and how will this entertainment value help to put Akwa Ibom Motor City on the world map, and possibly some professional racing circuits in the next 10 years?
If you look at our proposal, one of the things we want to do is to bring the Formula One to Nigeria. As a matter of fact, it doesn't exist in Africa, so Nigeria will be the ideal place to bring it into. So, what we also plan for the Motor City is to have a circuit. We plan to build a circuit in the Motor City, and already we're talking to some parties to see how we can get the necessary partnerships to put together that circuit. And it's not just enough for us to put together the circuit. We also have the vision to start by catching them young. So we have a partner in China who is doing go-karts, and we want to bring them to Nigeria to assemble and produce go-karts in Nigeria, so that we can have circuits even for children, so that even from the ages of 3 to 5 years, we can have our kids start dreaming to become F1 drivers, so that we can start producing the environment for this circuit, while we try to work with the best people in the industry to put this together. So part of what we plan for the Motor City is to have a racing circuit in this city.
Okay, so
yeah, you can ask a question.
So I also have one big question here. I wonder how you see the relations with China and Chinese business at the moment, and as well as another question of interest here is a lot of foreign people, when it comes to Africa, they are so mindful of security. So what are some of the measures?
I think we have to separate it.
All right.
You know, the first one is, how do you see the relationship between China and Nigeria or Africa at the moment? And can you mention Chinese partners and their efforts towards making IBOM Motor City achievable?
I think that question, it will be best for Mr. Lin to answer that question, because
we want you to answer that for the record purposes. You know, for the record purposes.
You can briefly, to answer your opinion.
Mention their names.
Now,
people want to know. You know,
the relationship between China and Nigeria is a very good one. Because the system that we're working with our Chinese partners is one of a win-win solutions.
Exactly.
So, and that's for us is the best strategy to work at any time. We have quite a number of partners who are already working with us. If not for the current COVID situation, we would not be here by now. We would all be back back home. we have quite a number of partners. We've signed agreements, for instance, with the Weichai Group, with Southeast Motors. We have things going on with them now. As we are sending down some vehicles to Nigeria now, as we speak. We have some other partners also that we already entered into agreements with. So we have a very, very good relationship because this is quite the right time for those investments coming from China into Africa, especially into Nigeria.
Okay. Yeah. Another question is, will Motor City also attract international talent to help expand the Made in Nigeria brand?
Our focus with IBOM Motor City is to attract international companies.
Not made in Nigeria.
We want to attract them to become Nigerian. This is very important for us. There is a difference between made in Nigeria and being proudly Nigerian. So what we want to do is to make them proudly Nigerian. So we are bringing them to Nigeria. We're saying, okay, produce for the Nigerian market, produce for the West African market, and produce what is needed in the local economy, not just what you think is needed in Europe or what you think is needed in China. You're going to have to customize it to the local environment so that it can become proudly ours. So this is the strategy that we are working out with our partners, and a lot of them are happy to work with us under these conditions.
Then another question is, what is your vision for the future of Motor City? What are some of the things you want to see achieved in the next 10 years?
One of the things that is paramount for us is to improve the standard of lives of our people. Now, what we want to achieve with this city is to set a model that can be replicated all across the country, because we know what the potential is all over Nigeria to be able to get things done right. If we know from our experience in Nigeria that if you do the right model, it becomes easy to copy. We like to copy what is good. So when we achieve the IBOM Motor City, it will serve as a model for other cities across Nigeria. It's not going to be the one and only one. It's going to be the model, the reference point where anyone can point to and say, we can do this, let's get it done. So for us, this is what we want to achieve, create that environment which will bring greater impact to the lives of our people and bring the necessary changes and move us forward as a people.
Yeah, talking about impact, along with car production, will Motor City be helping to build and support the growth of public transportation network in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. The whole idea is to make our country mobile. We cannot overemphasize the importance of the transportation sector in bringing about all the changes and impacts that we want to see. One of the greatest problems or challenges we have in Nigeria is with the logistics. Is in logistics. It's so very difficult. Sometimes it's cheaper to move goods from China to Lagos than it is to move the same goods from Lagos to Kano, because of the logistics challenges that we have with Nigeria. So IBOM Motor City would address a lot of these logistics challenges, because we would be able to assemble vehicles that will fit our roads, that will also fit our pockets, so that it becomes easier for us to meet those challenges.
Now that leads to another question. How will Motor City reach out to schools and universities to support the next generation of technicians and engineers get the proper educations and opportunities to pursue careers in the automotive industry?
Now, one of the things that we are doing also is that we intend to set up an auto institute, an automotive institute. And we are planning to have that institute aligned with the institute in London, so that whatever certificates are issued from that institute would also be recognized anywhere else in the world. Now, for us to be able to get the workforce that we will need to drive the city, we need to train, retrain, and keep training the people that we need to get these things done. So it's all part of our plan to have in place that institute where in our Motor City, where we will produce the necessary expertise that will be needed, both in the short term and also in research and development for even newer technologies, and even to enhance what we'll be doing in the city. So we are taking a long-term view, a long-term approach of the entire matter. We actually have a 20-year plan of what we hope to see in the city over the next 20 years.
Okay. So we understand you are in need of $400 million to.
It has actually, since the last time, it has moved up to $1.5 billion.
Wow.
Gone up so
Wow.
much.
So as that $1.5 billion to build the project already been secured, then or are you looking for financial partners to support the building of this wonderful project?
Part of the reason why I've spent 5 months in China now is to get the necessary financial partners to support the project. Now, what we're doing is we're not asking them to bring money. We're saying bring your equipment. We're going to cost what your equipment is, bring your factories, bring whatever it is that you have, and set up in IBOM Motor City. That's how we hope to meet these investments that we're looking at. So we're making it easy to attract those investments into the city. So that's the strategy that we're adopting. And so far to date, in terms of investments, I think in total, we are looking at, from these different companies, we're looking at investments of over $100 million at the moment, with the ones that have signed up, and there's still a lot more. Every day we're getting new sign-ons. Recently we even got another sign-on in the mobile internet in internet area, and we're getting sign-ons in service delivery, in apps, applications, and all those other things. We're getting, apart from core manufacturing businesses, we're getting big businesses also signing in service delivery, in new applications, in telecommunications, and all of that. We're getting lots of companies coming in different areas. So it's a big basket for us, and it's quite impressive what we've achieved, what has been achieved to date.
Great. That is very remarkable and commendable. You know, you have really, put in your best towards making it achievable, and that is, that shows commitment to the success of this project. And according to what we normally say, knowing what to do or where to go. It's half of getting what you want.
Done.
So it's tantamount to showing that you have already achieved, you know, you have seen the vision, you know, so you have seen the end of the visions and you are working through it. And our prayer is that it will be actualized, you know, very speedily. Now, the next question is, which is a big question. You know, a lot of foreign people have the big question, the problem a lot of foreign people have about Africa is security. You know, what are some of the measures the city will take to show the world Nigeria and Africa are safe places for people, business and travel?
One of the things that is unique about what we're doing is that the platform that we're putting together is one that offers security in terms of physical security. We are also offering some level of economic security. Now, with the Green Shield Group, the cooperation that we're having, because the Green Shield Group is actually a security company. So part of the securities that we, security platforms we're putting in place is one that will allow our investors to go to sleep, knowing that the investments are taken care of. So we're putting together some insurance platform that will make it possible for the investors to come in and be insured, because most times from China, it's difficult to get insurance companies to sign off insurance guarantees for a project in Africa. So that's part of the challenges that investors are coming into Africa. So what we've done is with Green Shield, we're putting in, we're strengthening the relationships with insurance companies and providing some sort of insurance.
Green Shield, sorry. Green Shield, what is Green? Is it a company?
It's a company.
Green, as in green.
Green Shield.
Green
Shield.
Shield.
Okay.
Mr. Lin is actually a vice president of the Green Shield Group.
Okay, great.
So also in terms of physical security, the Green Shield Group can also give us training, provide us with the necessary equipment like CCTVs, like advanced systems for security. These are the things that we hope to deploy in this city. In combating crime, 70 or 80% of combating crime is making sure that it doesn't happen in the first place. And so we're going to have a proactive system that will serve as a serious deterrent to criminals, so that because they know they will not succeed, they will not even try in the first place. So these are the kinds of systems that we're going to deploy in this city, using technology and using all the resources that we have. So it's going to be one of the most secured places, not only in Africa, but in the world.
Wow. A crime-free
We are going to create a crime-free environment. Zero tolerance to crime.
That is beautiful.
And it's not just one that will be based on punishing people because they commit crime, but one that will be based on deterring people from even committing a crime. So our philosophy is different, is a bit different, but this is how we hope, this is what we hope to achieve.
Talking about investments, if one wants to purchase a home or start a factory or a business in the city, how or what would be the way to get started?
Simple, become a citizen of the city.
It's not easy.
How?
what our goal is such that if you get a job working in this city, you would have access to the best standard of life anywhere in the world. A job in this city would provide you with accommodation. Immediately you are qualified for a job, immediately you get a job in this city, you would have access to your house. Depending on what kind of job you get, you might have access to a car immediately.
Wow.
So what we want to do is to improve the standard of life of people. So once you become a citizen of this city, you would have access to all of these things, because we're going to grow the city based on the number of people who we attract and who come into the city. We actually, our number is 1 million. We want to see how we can get 1 million people.
So how do one become the citizen of this city?
We're going to open it all up when we're ready, and it will be as easy as clicking on the app that we'll provide.
Okay.
You make your registration, you register into the app. Once you get a place, everything will be provided for you.
Yeah. So that takes us to the next line of thought, which is we would love to know, when will this project be completed, and also upon completion, do you see people from other cities being attracted? I mean, people from all walks of life being attracted to come and invest and be part of this project?
This is an international project. It's not a project targeted only at the people of Akwa Ibom State. It's a project targeted across for everybody in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, the international community. We want to create a space where people from all walks of life, from all over the world, will feel comfortable. Because a lot of people want to come to Africa. They want to come and do business in Nigeria. But a lot of times they cannot find the right places where they can comfortably reside to do that business. That's part of the reason why we're not getting enough investments and we're not getting enough results. So what we want to do is to create the environment, create the space where anybody anywhere in the world will reference and say, okay, I'm going to Africa, I'm going to Nigeria, and this is the place to go to. From this place, I can stretch out my tentacles and take advantage of the different markets and the different opportunities in the African market. So this is what we want to do. We want to create that space where anybody anywhere in the world will be comfortable to come into.
So let's try to forecast a little bit. How would you visualize this project and the entire Motor City thing in the next 10 years?
I love Shanghai. And I would have loved to say let's do Shanghai in 10 years, but it's not going to be possible. So, but what we want to do is to create a miniature system, same like you have in some of the best cities in the world, whether it's in Singapore, whether it's in Shanghai, whether it's in, name any of the very good cities.
A kind of macrocosm of microcosm, you know,
of some
Singapore,
of the best cities in the world. We want to create that kind of space using this platform where anybody, nobody would know whether they're in Singapore or they're in Nigeria if they come to this space. So that's the kind of thing that we want to create.
Yeah. We also get some questions from outsiders. You know, they want to know more about this IBOM Motor City. You know, so although they cannot come, but they are part of it through the questions. One of them is our acting editor-in-chief. You know, he wants to know, because he was also interested in these projects. They want to know that he said, are you applying for a Formula One license to bring the organization and its partners to Nigeria? Then the next one is the world is going green, and Formula E is becoming the new spotlight for race car drivers and international enthusiasts. Are you considering a partnership to promote and build a green race car culture in Nigeria?
I'll tell you one thing that has happened for us over the last 2 months. It's as if things are aligning for us as we go. 2 months ago, I had a discussion, an online meeting with someone who has now proven to be a very good friend.
Okay.
And interestingly, this person used to run the circuits in Macau.
Wow.
He used to be a very senior executive in Macau. So the racing circuits were run by him, and he has given me his word that he is going to work with us on IBOM Motor City.
Wow.
Nice.
That's an achievement.
So it's the stars are aligning for us in a lot of different ways. He's in Australia at the moment, but he will be happy to come at any time to Nigeria and work with us on putting this together. So in terms of the expertise that we need to get those things done, we are beginning to put together those kinds of expertise. So it's quite interesting what is happening. Now to come to the other part of the question, whether it is Formula E or Formula One, what is important for us is that we start from somewhere. If we can even get the go-kart circuits so that our kids can start driving and getting the thrill of dreaming to become one of the one race car driver. We're not going to get it all in one day, but we want to see what little wins we can get here and there, and by the time we put all of them together, we would have created the kind of impact that we want to create. We cannot say that we can bring Formula One to Nigeria in 1 year's time or even in 5 years' time. It's going to take us some time to do that, because it takes time to put together all the kinds of infrastructure that we will need to put in place to be able to attract those kinds of franchises. But the important thing is that we are determined to do that, and we know that where there is a will,
there's a way.
There is always a way. So we have the will to do it. We'll find the way to do it. Already we're getting the right people, we're talking to the right people, we're getting into the right partnerships to be able to achieve that. So for me, this is a personal dream. And I pray that it can happen in my time.
It will. Yeah, another question from Mr. Ebube. You know, is does the IBOM Motor City have a plan to explore driverless car production and commuting for the city's residents? Then, how does A1 and autonomous driving technology fit into the future of the IBOM Motor City?
Like I said, I think I mentioned this earlier. IBOM Motor City is going to be a hub for innovation. This is, first of all, our major vision is to provide a hub for innovation and creativity across not just Nigeria but across Africa. So whether it's driverless cars, whether it's whatever new technologies that will come up, because every day the scenario is changing in terms of technologies and what is possible, what the possibilities are. What we will do is that we're going to provide that platform to attract all of those technologies, whatever they may be. We would provide the space, the environment for those technologies to be able to expand, to grow, and for us to capture it. So this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to put in place. So driverless cars, we would achieve. Hydrogen cars, if that becomes a norm, we will get it there.
Yeah.
So whatever happens in the industry, this would be the reference place in Africa for what is happening in the industry. And I know that with the kinds of creative minds that we have in Nigeria especially, who knows, maybe the next generation of vehicles, of whatever, might be coming from this org. So what we want to do is create the environment where this creativity would fester, where it would grow, and where it can explode.
Okay. Now, another question is, like a new city will produce waste and accumulate a sizable carbon footprint. Are there plans to ensure a green footprint and conversion of waste produced in this city?
This is one city that will produce zero waste.
Zero waste. Wow.
This is one city that will produce zero waste. I want to emphasize on that. Because for us, our plan is to make waste a business.
Okay.
So if we have people profiting from waste,
Yes. Then they will be out of business.
there will be
No waste.
there will be waste business.
Okay.
And if people are profiting from the waste that is produced from the city, we'll encourage you to produce more so that we can profit more. So our strategy is to make it such that whatever it is recycled and used optimally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, and for us, what we're looking at is how we're going to deploy technology to the fullest degree in this city to be able to accomplish a lot of the things that we need to accomplish. So we are looking for all the right partners that will bring to fruition the dreams that we have for the city.
Okay.
And we're talking to all of them. We are happy that quite a number of them are aligning with our dreams, with our vision. And we're also happy that it's the right time, because maybe 20 years ago, if we're talking about this kind of project, this kind of development, we might not be getting the kind of responses that we're getting today. But today, all eyes are focused on Africa, and especially on Nigeria. So it's becoming a bit easier for us to be able to have the right kinds of responses.
So I will go over to the next one quickly. I want to understand that is there an R&D vision for the city as the world goes green and electric vehicles become the standard? How will the city seek to build the next generation of talent and products that will help bring positive impact to a greener earth?
What we know is that if we get this right, because the R&D market industry is a very big industry. Recently we're hearing about the skirmishes between Huawei and America over siting an R&D factory in the UK. Now, we think that it's also, if we get this right, this city would be that place where the R&D business would want to come to in Nigeria or in Africa. So, because we're positioning ourselves as an innovation center, as an innovation hub, as an innovation city, we hope to be able to attract all the big firms to come, and because everybody a lot of people are looking at the African market. Where are they going to produce the products to fit the African market? They're not going to produce them in Europe. they might not even produce them in China. They would need to produce them somewhere in Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
So we are positioning ourselves to be that place where all of that, all of those thought processes, all of those developments, we're positioning ourselves to become the number one place where all of that comes to.
Then the last question, you talk about zero waste. What type of treatment of systems have you explored to date and is keeping the city clean, a major area of importance for IBOM Motor City?
With zero waste, we will not be inventing anything new. There are already cities in the world now that already run on a zero waste system. So all we will be doing is just learning, taking from what they're doing right, and implementing it in our city. And because we will be starting from scratch, it becomes possible for us to achieve it. Because it all would fall within our master plan. So it becomes possible for us to achieve from day one, because we'll plan the city in such a way that we will not have waste piling up on the streets, will not have waste piling up anywhere.
Yeah, so another last question.
Not last question.
Oh, not last question, yeah. All right, so have you heard about the projects and events as the World Solar Challenge in Australia 2021 and also that of South Africa Solar Challenge?
These solar challenges.
Yeah.
Well, for us, we're not focused on a particular technology or a particular way of doing anything. What we want is to set the platform for all kinds of technologies, all kinds of ideas, whether be it solar, be it hydrogen, be it whatever it is. We just want to set up the platform for competition, set up the platform for innovation, and set up the platform for creativity, so that whatever it is, it can happen there. We know about a lot. Solar has become what's the word now? Before now, it was difficult to do solar projects because the cost elements was quite high. It was not very competitive compared to other technologies. But now solar has become is now able to compete with other technologies. So we would look at it as part of the technological platform that we would put in place. But our city is not going to be a solar city, for instance. We're not saying all our energy sources will come from solar. No, we would have energy sources come from all kinds of different sources, because the advantage we have in Nigeria is that we have so many sources of renewable energies. So we're not in the desert where we're going to say, okay, let's just put solar panels in a desert environment. In Nigeria, we have rivers, streams flowing. If we want hydropower, we can get it. We next door to wherever you are. If you dig far enough, you can eat gas wells, gas reservoirs. We have solar. You can, if you want to put solar panels on every roof, it's possible to do that because we have sunlight all year round. So we have a lot of different sources. So we're not going to limit ourselves to one particular source and name ourselves according to that. So according to that source of energy, we're going to find our source of energy from everywhere.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. So bringing it home a little bit more this time, I don't know if you've heard about the Niger Boat solar electric car, and what are your thoughts towards this Nigeria Solar Eagles national team?
Frankly, I've not heard about the Niger Boat solar electric car, but if those kind of innovations are already taking place in Nigeria, it's a good thing. I'm happy to hear about it, and if the people who are coming up with those kinds of innovations, I feel that they can compete favorably, and they want to find the place to be able to do that, then they are welcome to IBOM Motor City. Will be happy to have them, give them the space, let them put it there, and find the kind of synergies that they will need. Because one of the things we want to do in the Motor City is to bring together all the different kinds of partnerships that are necessary in the industry, so that we can have a real motor industry, one that will thrive, one that will work, and one that will be sustainable.
This also brings us to second to the last question before we invite our Shenzhen coordinator. You know, Shenzhen is the home of electricity. We are going to call him, and he's also interested in this project. But before then, somebody want to know, would you be glad to name yourself the Bani Ecclestone of Nigeria? And this is the CEO of one of those founders of Formula One. So he want to know if, because of his Automotive Community Project, that will you be proud to be given the title of to be associated with that title, Benny Ecclestone of Nigeria?
I know how valuable titles are,
especially in Nigeria,
where I come from. But this is not about title. Any title. I have enough titles as it is.
Somebody will innovate something.
As it is now. For us, what is important is that we want to create the right impact.
Okay.
It's not about making a name. It's not about getting titles and all of that. We just want to do what is right. We just want to make
an impact.
Make the right impact, and get things working.
Then the last question from us is, would you be interested in bringing more green challenges and events to IBOM Motor City?
As a matter of fact, when the Motor City kicks off, it will be a place where every year innovators and creative people, that's where you will come to get the award.
Wow.
For innovations and creativity in Nigeria.
That's good.
So we'll give awards that are not just, we will do things that are worthwhile, so that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy, everybody will be proud to be associated with this city.
Thank you so much. And with that, we want to invite the black one. Yeah, thank you. We want to invite Mr. David from Shenzhen to also come in and ask his question.
I think we are almost done.
Yeah, we're rounding up. Sorry.
In China, they connect using WeChat. Outside China is Skype.
Skype.
Yeah.
So what that?
And WhatsApp, yeah. But now we have a new one now, Zoom Info. Yeah, Zoom.
Hello? 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 And it's connected. Hello?
Loudspeaker.
Hello? 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 The network. Hello? Okay, let me just, maybe audio will be fine. Or maybe if you can call. Voice. Hello. Yeah, we are just rounding up with Mr. Samuel Marcus Essien, the MD CEO of Sagamu Independent Power Plant Limited, the initiator of Automotive Community Project. So we have introduced you, so you might want to introduce yourself and then tell us your question. Mr. Sam is all ears and is on record.
We're doing fine.
Very well, thank you.
I just want to start by saying I think the project that you're doing is absolutely fantastic, and I think it's going to bring a lot of wonderful opportunities and very good future to the city and the country as well as the world. So I definitely look forward to hearing more and more great news about your project.
Thank you very much.
And how are you enjoying yourself in China?
Shanghai has been great, though I can't wait for the airways to open so I can get back to Nigeria.
Yeah, that's a little stressful right now. Right?
So you go ahead with your questions.
Okay. So let me introduce myself first. I'm David. I'm with the Green Makes the Good Green Again, and our main business is surrounding green technologies as well as financially empowering people to make the good green again. So I have a few questions for you in regards to the environmental aspect of your city, your new IBOM Motor City. So I'll start by asking, a new city produces a lot of waste, and that waste is going to your carbon footprint. So are there any plans that you have, or is there anything that you're looking to do to ensure that your footprint is green, so that you can reduce your carbon footprint and also have convert waste into other valuable products? Is that something that you're looking at or working with?
Yes, actually, what we want to achieve is a zero waste city. We know that there are some cities like in Singapore, for instance, that is already celebrating zero waste in some of the cities. So we would be happy to find the right partners that we can work with to achieve a sustainable zero waste policy, because that would be our policy. Our policy would be such that we want to use as much as possible. We want to recycle as much as possible. We want to we want to bring value as much as possible to the waste and use it in other areas. So we would be looking for the right partners and the right technologies to help us achieve this. So this is part of what we have in our plan. And this will be carried out right from the design stage. We will design the city such that waste treatment it becomes paramount even in the design, even in the design phase.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. When do you foresee the project being fully completed?
I didn't get that.
When do you see the project, the city, being fully completed?
The strategy that we're adopting is that we are bringing first industry, and the industry will serve as the nucleus for developing the city. Now, one of the major things we want to do is to bring in vehicle assembly plants, motor assembly plants, which will form the nucleus or the foundation for the city development. We already have some agreements signed with some vehicle companies to set up assembly plants in the city. So once these plants start construction, then all the other things will begin to develop simultaneously. Like once construction starts, then it will be necessary to have housing even for construction staff. So we will start the housing side. It will be necessary to have some sort of services. We will begin to put those services. So when construction is complete for the auto factories and they start recruiting staff, we will expand the housing to accommodate the staff in those areas. We would provide what is necessary, infrastructure, power, lighting, everything that's necessary, and grow it from there. So this is that's how we plan to get it done.
That sounds wonderful. In terms of size, how much land IBOM Motor City going to be built on?
We are located in an area where 13,000 hectares of land has been earmarked for the free trade zone. Now, on the first phase, we are starting, we already have a location for 100 hectares of land for the first phase. And we intend to grow the city to 1,000 hectares over the next 2 years. So we're designing the first phase with 100 hectares, and then we will expand to 1,000 hectares from there. But we have the potential to do even up to 5,000 hectares if the need arises.
So, what are going back to your first phase where you're bringing in the car manufacturers to set up plants for these cars in the motor city and create jobs. What percentage of the production do you think will be dedicated to electric vehicle production?
What we want to do is we do not want to force anything. We'll allow the market to determine where the drive would be. Now, part of what we're doing even now is we're bringing in samples of electric cars, which we want to test in the market and see what the response will be like. If the market is tilted towards electric vehicles, then it becomes easier to assemble them and work with those kinds of technologies. But for us, what is important is setting up the environment for all kinds of different kinds of technologies to thrive. So we would not be limiting ourselves to a particular technology or a particular kind of equipment. What we would do is, because what we want to do is to find what works for everyone. So we'll let the market determine what kinds of technologies would be best suited to it.
Makes
already the platform that we are working on has a lot of incentives attached to it. For instance, we are located in a free trade zone, so you would have all the incentives that comes with a free trade zone. And if you set up an electric vehicle manufacturing or assembly plant, it would be a pioneer industry. So you would also have the incentives that goes to pioneer industries. For instance, for the free trade zone, there is a 5-year tax holiday, and if you get a pioneer status, you also have another 5-year tax holiday. So it means because you're located in the free trade zone and you have a pioneer status, you automatically have a 10-year tax break. So this is a big incentive already. Then there are other incentives that the government that's already in place. Now, what we would also do to incentivize you is that under the platform of this city, we would also take up some of the marketing so that we create the market for you. You will be able to focus on production while we would help you to sort out marketing and even sales if the need arises. So there's a lot that we're putting together on the platform that will make it easier for you, so you can focus on your core, on what your core area of expertise is. So it makes it easier for you to be able to succeed.
Yeah, Mr. David, you have only one question. Yeah, one question more. Or have you asked all your question?
Wow, I have a wide list of questions.
Please, because of time, just ask one. Just summarize it to one.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
So, well, I'll finish up with a question in regards to new technologies. I know that right now there's a push for autonomous vehicles, the use of AI, public transportation systems. So, within the city, is there a vision to pursue these new technologies, and to also, in addition to building the parks, is there also a vision for public transportation and using some of this autonomous technology to maybe have driverless vehicles, driverless buses, not only in production, but also in use within the city to get around with the greener footprint?
Okay, I'll tell you what we have done, the steps we've taken in very concrete terms to be at par or even ahead of a lot of other cities in this regard. Now, one of the things we've done is 3 months ago, we signed an agreement with a company here in China for CDN technology. So, and with this technology, we will be able to meet the requirements under IoT in terms of AI, because what the technology would do for us is that it's going to increase our not just our internet speeds currently by another 150% or more. So we have those partners signed up already, working with us, implementing this. So we are already looking beyond just talking about it. We're already doing things in concrete terms to achieve it. So bearing, if not for the current situation, we would already have started implementing the CDN technology in Nigeria now. So this city is going to enjoy part of those progressions, and for us also, what we've done is we are putting this city together as an innovation hub, not only for Nigeria but across the West African region. So all of these things, it will be possible to get them, to create them, and to get them running and working in this city.
I love what you just said in terms of creating that innovation within the city and if I could just end with this final question, in terms of connecting universities and schools and a lot of the young people across Nigeria and across Africa, and really providing some type of some type of programs to encourage students to pursue careers, whether it be IoT, AI, automotive technician. What do those cities do to not only attract those talents, but also help them to become those talents over time with their education and learning?
What we're doing in that regards is because what we've done is we have put together a 20-year plan for the city, and this plan takes into consideration what will be necessary to make the city sustainable over a long period of time. And in terms of sustainability, one of the things that we need is to find adequate workforce, and also the creativity that will be needed to make the city relevant for a long period of time. So what we have put in the plan is to create the necessary institutions, get them affiliated with international bodies, and put together programs that will enable young people to start to fit them into the system, and then get them to be able to align with what our vision is, and get them to align and make them to become creative and relevant for the city development. So we already have the plans to set up these kinds of institutes. We would reach out to the professional bodies in the UK and elsewhere and see what kinds of affiliations we can form and put that together, because without that it will be difficult to achieve the sustainability that we need. So these are the programs that we already are looking at.
It was an absolute pleasure to meet you today for the first time. I'm hoping that it won't be the last time, and I'm looking forward to seeing growth and hearing about all of the success of the IBOM Motor City going forward, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about where we have some areas of synergy, and just really getting to know you. He's like a fantastic guy that has a great vision for the future of the city in Nigeria, and it's my absolute pleasure to talk to you and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm also very happy about your interest in what we're doing. If you send me a profile and let me know areas that we can create those synergies, I will be very happy to take up the discussion with you.
That is the plan. I will get Michael, and I look forward to the day that we can meet in person, face-to-face as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. David.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
So I will send the audio and everything to you and the video later. Yeah, we just have one more question, which is the final one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking your time to answer all our questions. We appreciate it. But it will be a criminal offense, ending this interview talking about the creation without the creator. And that leads us to one thing. People will be wondering, who is behind this project? Who is Mr. Samuel Marcus Essien? What is Sagamu Independent Power Plant Limited all about? So we want it to come from the horse's mouth. We are not an horse, we know that, but we want to hear it from your mouth. Tell us about yourself, your family, what you are doing, and your business. Tell us about Mr. Samuel. Tell us about yourself. Just a profile about yourself and your business, Sagamu Independent Power Plant Limited. People want to know.
Mike, to be very frank with you, whatever it is that I'm talking about, it's not about me. It's actually about the team that we have put in place.
Okay.
I have a team of some very wonderful people working together with me. We've been working for over a decade on projects like this. Our core areas have been in the power industry, where we've been putting together a power plant, a 450 megawatt power plant in Sagamu. It's on the back of what our experiences have been working on projects in Nigeria that we decided to refocus and look at the picture, taking a more holistic approach to it. We looked at what the issues were with the power sector, and we realized that people don't just need power, because power is not an end in itself. If you produce power, you need to produce the power to run industry. That is where it will create the impact. If you produce power, you can put on the light bulb. What's the use of that? We've gone beyond just having to light a candle. So the team sat down together and said, because of the work that we've done in the power industry, it exposed us to a lot of other relationships in industry, in manufacturing, in services, and in a lot of other areas. So we said, why don't we put together all of these resources that we have and create something of more value than just a power plant? So what we did was to refocus and then expand our activities from just power to power and industry, as well as infrastructure. So for everywhere that we're building a power plant, we also will be bringing an industrial park. And we realize that it's not enough to set up one or two factories. You need to set up an entire ecosystem where everything will thrive. So that way we're looking at setting up integrated cities. So it's the kind of support that I've gotten from the team, that I've gotten from people like Mr. Lin. That is what you are saying right now. So it's not about Samuel Marcus Essien, who is actually nobody, but it's about the teams that we've been able to put together, and the kind of ideas that we are willing to work with in these teams. What we're talking about, if we want to spend the whole day talking about all the different things that we want to do in this team, time will fail us. But it's more about the kinds of partnerships, the kinds of relationships that we found between Nigeria and China. That is what is putting this together.
Yeah. On a final note, would you like to just give a kind of special message to your potential partners, and just in rounding up.
The message is,
The last message.
this is a time for investment opportunities in Africa. And the destination is Nigeria if you're looking at creating any meaningful impact. So you're welcome to Nigeria, and we're putting in place the right platform and the right environment for you to be able to harness those opportunities and those potentials. So we welcome everyone.
And on that note, we want to say thank you to you, Mr. Sam, and we want to say thank you to Mr. Lin, the backbone of this project. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Eugene, the moral booster. And I want to say thank you to my team, Mr. Lance, who has been behind the camera, and Mr. McRoy, the original McRoy, for the camera and for being part of this team, and for being our brother there. What's his name? Mr. Wang. Yeah, for being part of the team. You know, the team, for the progressive team.
Yeah. We
want to appreciate every one of you, and on behalf of myself and the team and the Bridge and Free family at large worldwide, we want to appreciate you, and we want to assure you that you will always have our support. You know, in whatever you do, we will always be the media partner of this IBOM Motor City. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your time, and thank you everybody for coming. And we wish us a mutually benefiting business partnership. Thank you. One love Africa, one love China, one love Bridge Africa.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is this sample of this edition. So by the time we do mass production, it will be as flat as this. I always make a mistake here. It will be as flat as this. You can see one of the last editions, Ambassador. So, but would you like to be on the cover page? Would you like to be on the cover page?
You put IBOM Motor City on
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice one,
That is yes. So then we take some very good pictures of you.
Oh,
if you want to be on the cover page, you can put you, because Ambassador also insisted on being on the cover.
Yeah.
So at least, so that is what we do. These are the past editions.
So this edition, this one will be showcasing the president of Benin.
Yes, but we are going to work on the cover. So this is, we always have some before the final mass production. So this is one of the sample, So this is one of the sample for our record purposes.
Yeah.
So when it's ready, I will let you have it. Okay. So then we talk about the implications. Thank you.